Welcome back, everybody. So welcome back, seriously, to part 4 of the My Energy, My Health, My Happiness series. Last one, yay! And then you graduate with awesomeness. So tonight, here's what we're going to really focus on. We're going to do a very brief review again. The more times you hear just that review and that reminder, the better. After that, we are going to do a little bit more on the emotional clearing side. There's still a little bit more to kind of go through with that. After that, we're going to slide right into the energy of relationships, go from there into self-healing, go from there into energy of money. We may or may not have time for the energy of money. I'm hoping so. I think everybody would like it. It's always a good one. But we'll just go as fast as we can through. So let's first of all ask, are there any questions from last time before we go? Or any comments? Okay, let's do this. All right, everyone's like, Ghost, we have time for the money. All right. So one of the things that we talked about last time is to remember that this life is a big classroom for your soul. You knew what you were getting into. You chose your parents. And you got into all of these lessons so that you can grow your soul from baby to infant to young to mature to old. Within all of those experiences, you would have been in this space where you would have been through all of the different opposites. You would have been male and female. You would have been gay and straight. You would have been in an experience where you're rich and poor. You would have been a place where you committed horrible atrocities and places where you were a beautiful, saintly person. So remember that all of the experiences in life you experience because nobody can tell you about them. Absolutely no one. We talked about how, within your body, you break down into cells. Your cells break down into a nucleus on the inside. The nucleus breaks down into molecules, specifically protein molecules and peptides. Those all break down into the exact same thing. They break down into atoms. Atoms, we know, break down into protons, neutrons, and electrons. All of those, the charges are going to be increased within your body or decreased within your body based on your experiences. So many, many negative experiences create an overabundance of electrons, causing negative energy to be stored up within the body. Negative energy stored up within the body will actually lower your overall energetic signature. Lower vibrating energy operates at lower existence, things like guilt and shame and fear and depression and apathy. Higher vibration will operate at more enlightenment, love, joy, bliss, peace. All right? So we're going to lower our body's negative energy, or lower down into negative energy because of the earthly experiences that we have. We do that purposefully. We do that so that we can get into our lessons. So we give ourselves two things. Pituitary gland, so that we can get into fear, so that we can get into getting into stress, so that we can get into worry, so that we can get into anxious thought, so that we can get into chatter. We also give ourselves an ego. The ego keeps us in jealousy, keeps us in desire, keeps us in depression, keeps us in feeling bad, keeps us in insecurity. And we do all that, why? So that we actually engage in our lessons. If we stayed in the same vibration as to where we came from, when we're just beautiful, pure source energy, we wouldn't learn any lessons because we're just in peace. We're in beauty, we're in oneness. We come here and give ourselves this experience so that we can learn all these lessons. Are they fun? Oh, no. No, no, no. But we learn how to move through them, okay? Some of them are fun, but most of them are not, okay? So the other thing then, when we look inside of either that negative charge, that neutral charge, or that positive charge, an electron, a proton, or a neutron, we get this. We get, yes, your flower of life or your fruit of life. And that is called a biophoton. A biophoton is a point of light. That's what it is. It is exactly the same as source energy. Exactly. Only difference is this. It's not conditioned to the human experience, source energy. Source energy is true unconditional love because it's unconditioned, right? We know that we are powerful, amazing beings. We can heal ourselves. We can let go of negative chatter. We can let go of bad feelings. We have that power within us. We have the power to physically heal ourselves. We just believe that we don't. So later today, we're going to talk about how do you do that. We also learned that we break down into chakras. We learned that chakras are real. Chakras are myofascial tissue. And what we learned is that each of the chakras, when you go through them, are going to have a function that is going to connect you to the earth. So the lower three chakras connect you to the earth. The upper chakras will connect you to source energy. All right, so it's kind of like you've got this break, and that breaking point is the heart. The heart is going to determine whether you're going to operate from here, or whether you're going to operate from here, or whether you're completely balanced. Okay? We learned also that each of those chakras has a vibration. These are the actual hertz of a chakra, how many revolutions per minute it vibrates at. So it needs to be within this range. How do you get it back in this range? You let certain things go from each of the chakras. We learned about them in the first two sessions. The other thing you could do, wear the color associated with it, or allow yourself to have a singing bowl or a chime or a tuning fork played on your chakra that will vibrate along with this hertz. It's going to get you back into alignment, but here's the tricky part. If you've got negative emotions that got it out of alignment in the first place, it's not going to last very long. It's going to go right back to out of alignment. So the key to all of this is letting go of all the old negative emotion, letting go of self-judgment, letting go of beating yourself up, thinking that you're a bad person or you've done things wrong, letting go of guilt, letting go of shame, letting go of judgment to another person. It's all about finding that compassion, right? We know that chakras are myofascial tissue. Myofascial tissue is what's within your body. 60% of your body is made of this. These are microtubules. They are hollow and they are fluid-filled and they carry your energy. They're your energetic highway. There are particular places in the body where they are belts or bands. The blue are the belts or the bands, and it comes right out of the myofascial textbook. And this is what it would look like. It's a big concentration of fascia. We also know that fascia affects your health. If you have negative emotions, negative thoughts, negative self-image, negative projected image out into the world, well, what's going to happen to your fascia? It's going to get all gunky. It's going to look kind of like that. It's going to get all gunky. It's going to get all mucked up. When it gets gunky or mucked up, that very technical term I'm using, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with pain in your body, illness in your body, disease in your body. All right? So how does energy move through your body? It moves through your body through your thoughts and your feelings. Your thoughts and your feelings move the energy. So if you're feeling bad and it has to do with self-love, what's going to happen to your fascia in your heart area? It's going to get affected. Diseases in your body will come based on your genetics. If you're genetically predispositioned to get breast cancer, that's probably what you'll get. If you're predispositioned to have asthma, then you get that. If it's a heart condition, you'll get that. You know, it really depends. If it's fibromyalgia, you'll get that. If it's something in your arms or hands, which are extensions of your heart, it'll be that. Jay. It is based on family. It is based on your genetics as to what kind of thing you're going to have in your body or circumstances. You might get into an accident. You might fall. You might have something happen. You know, even there are people who, this one woman I was working on, she's like, I don't know what my issue is. I keep injuring the left hand side of my body. I'm like, my toes, I keep stubbing them. My hands, I keep stubbing them. I got pain over here. She's like, why am I keep doing this to my left side? I'm like, honey, what have we been working on for the last, 3 or 4 months? What? Your mom? Oh. Left side of the body are mother issues. Right side of the body are father issues. Okay? So you will actually have accidents or incidents that will occur that are based on what it is that you're moving through. Incidentally, since we're talking about left and right, the left side of the body is 3 things. It is mother issues, it is receiving, and it is magnetism. The right side of the body, father. electricity, and giving. You can also look at if you're not giving enough and you're always, or if you're not giving enough and you're always receiving, you're going to have depletion on that side of your body. Okay. The other thing we talked about is learning to forgive. We talked about the 5 factors of forgiveness, that we are always, at all times in our life, looking for these 5 things. We are looking to find love, trying to get it, trying to hold on to it. We are looking for acceptance of who we are, what we're about, what it is that we do, our personality. We're looking for physical attention. We need good nurturing when we're young. It's essential. And we need to have loving touch when we're older. We need healthy attention, to be seen and heard by people in a healthy way. And we need support. Those are the things that we're always looking for. These are beautiful, but when we didn't get them, we're afraid to lose them, or we're desperately trying to find them, we make misguided decisions. So everything you think you need to beat yourself up over, say you should feel bad about, or guilty about, or shameful about, guess what? You were looking for some beauty. Give yourself a break. Judgment, we talked about that as well. Judgment is whenever we can't speak our truth to ourselves, we turn it around and we project it on those around us. If you want to know what you really need to clear, look at your own personal judgments at people around you. We learned about the third eye last time, or 2 times ago. We learned that inside of the head, you have this beautiful gland called the pineal gland. The pineal gland is your clairvoyance. It is a hollow gland. It is fluid-filled, and it is hollow, it is fluid-filled, and it has photoreceptors just like your eyeball does, okay, the retina of your eye. The reason that it's there is because energy enters in through the temples, through the front of the forehead, and through the top of the head. As it energy enters, there's information in all the little biophotons that are coming in. The photons, because they're outside of a body. The photons are points of light that are entering in, are carrying information from other people. They're carrying information from the earth. They're carrying information from your guides, from your higher self. They're carrying information from the universe. To really listen intuitively and understand what's there, we have to get out of our heads. Because if we are in our heads here, in the frontal lobe, in the pituitary gland, we are in internal chatter, we are in fear, we are in worry, we are in stress. Okay, and all this stuff here, there's a reason why it's all projected out here. Because when energy enters, it's not entering like this, down the body and into the third eye and down in, so you can bring your wisdom into yourself and bring yourself into a beautiful place. It is being projected out here because you're directing the energy here. When it's projected out here, suddenly everything is their fault or their fault or their fault, or the world is bad or that's bad or everyone's bad. And so once we're projecting it's all their fault and everything is terrible, we're not really looking internally at what we need to see within ourselves. Okay? We're also not able to bring in the information that we need to hear from our guides and our higher self and the universe and wisdom, because it's all being displayed out here. We definitely learned last time, or through the last 3 times, that everything that you need to learn has everything to do with you. The people around you, they play a role in your life, but honestly, most of that is inconsequential. They're teaching you a lesson, but they're learning their own. Everything that happens to you, no matter who comes into your life or what circumstance comes into your life, is all there to help you learn. It is all there to help you grow. Last time we looked at this chart, the calibration of human vibrations, or the levels of human consciousness, created by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And what we looked at is about how the lower vibrations, things like guilt and shame, are such a low vibration. They're at a level 20 or 30, where if we look up here, love, peace, and joy is at a 500 to 600 level. That's incredible to be that high vibrating. How do we get that high vibrating? We let go of the old judgment. We let go of the old guilt. We let go of the old shame. We let go of the anger and resentment towards others. We forgive ourselves. We forgive others. Why do we get into a lower vibration because of this? We talked about last time all of the experiences that we're having here on Earth. We, for the longest time on Earth, were in a preoccupation with the self. Why were we in the preoccupation with the self and materialism, wealth, power, status, fear, arrogance, jealousy, strive for importance? Why? Because our earth was at that vibratory level. We talked last time about how the earth travels from Sirius A to Sirius B and back again. And about every time it makes that little cycle around those stars, what happens is we raise our vibration on earth based on how all the planets are pulling and aligning. And that gravitational pull is the more it pulls on the earth, the higher vibration earth becomes. So the higher vibrating earth just happened. It happened in 2012, December 21st, well, within a few month range. And what happened? We shifted from the service to self mentality to the service to others. Well, let's take that back. The earth shifted. The humans residing upon it are in the process of shifting. It's going to take us a while to catch up. We're not as quick as the earth. We talked about this. We talked about all the positive drivers that enter into our body based on our experience in this third dimensional existence. And we found out that we've got lots of lovely positive drivers, but we also have a whole host of negative ones that occur within our body, purposefully so. When we have any of these negative drivers, insecurity, self-doubt, hatred, sadness, resentment, guilt, shame, fear, worthlessness, any of those things, we end up with personal needs and reactionary behaviors. Our personal needs, you know you've got an emotional issue to clear. If you've got the need to be right, the need to be justified, the need to be validated, the need to have control, the need to be respected, to be special, to be the center of attention, to be better than, to have power, okay, to micromanage. You also have reactionary behaviors. Okay? Reactionary behaviors are there when you are also in an emotional state that isn't healthy. So when you're judging others, criticizing others, yelling, fighting, engaging in all kinds of drama, when you're in excessive crying, when you're disengaging from others, when you're dismissive of others, you're in racism, controlling others, controlling the environment, overindulgence, eating, exercise, alcohol, drugs, sex, all of these things. Okay? Excessive gossiping, excessive judgment. What do you do when you realize that you have some of those things? We learned about you've got to move beyond the needs and reactionary behaviors. How do you do that? You have to identify what you're holding first. What are the emotional drivers that are there? You have to identify why you're holding that emotion within your body. We did that through the Wonders of Why, or I think we also can call it the Why analysis. I've used both names. So when we went through that experience, and I believe we called it the Why analysis, when we went through that, we took a reactionary need or a reactionary behavior, and we filled out this form. We filled out this form that is all about why. Why do I have that need, or why do I have that behavior? And what that does is it leads you into what's behind it all. Once you find what's behind it, then you can start to work on it. You can start to let it go. You can start to forgive yourself, forgive others, understand their journey. And then what do? You find your compassion for yourself. You find your compassion for others. You forgive yourself and others, and you release those old beliefs and behaviors. So we completed the Why analysis, and then we went into this. This is one I'm going to review a little bit longer than a very quick. It is essential that we remember these components. This is stuff that we always come back to. People's journeys are going to collide with you. Life is going to collide with you. Your guides are going to bring in lessons, and incidentally, at the end of a lesson, if you notice that you've got this pattern that's going on in your life, and it's cycling around and cycling around and cycling around, and you can see the pattern in your life all the time. And you're finally like, I see the pattern, I might want to address that. And you go through and you're dealing with it internally instead of externally. You're dealing with it in here. Once you're dealing with it in here and you feel like, I really got past this, I really feel like I got it, guess what Source does? They bring another test just to see that you got it. Okay? They bring in one more to say, oh, did she really get it? I don't know. Insert so-and-so who will get right in your face with what you've been working through. All right? Once they get right in your face, you have that opportunity to go, oh, here it is, darn it. Okay, breathe. I'm going to get into my compassion. Here's what I know. Everyone is equally as important as everyone else. Uniqueness is a positive. And when I say equally as important as everyone else, I don't care what they've done. I don't care if they have been dishonest, if they have been deceitful, if they have been manipulative, if they have been nasty, if they had clawed your eyes out. Okay? They're equally as important as everyone else. We may not like what they did, but they're here for our growth. And they are here learning their lesson through that ugliness. Okay? So we can't judge it. We can look at it, we can observe it and go, I don't like it. And we can want retribution, if that's what you want. We can want accountability. But honestly, it's not our place. Uniqueness in everyone is a positive. Logical, mental importance and intelligence is just as important in people as beautiful emotion. There are people who are brought into this earth just to be beautiful, emotional, social beings. Just as much as there were people who were brought into this earth to be intelligent and can logically think through things. Both are exceedingly valuable and equal. We have to acknowledge that everyone is on their own journey and it's supposed to be different than yours. And we also have to understand that we grow and change and develop emotionally and mentally at different rates and at different times. So we can't expect someone to grow at the same pace you do. We can't expect them to grow at the same time that you do. The only one you can be worried about is you. I have a client who I'm working with. Her girlfriend broke up with her, and she was very upset about it. Very, 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 very upset. Every time she was in for the first, I want to say 8-10 times that she worked with me. What can I do to help so-and-so grow? I need to help her change on her journey. What can I do to help that? Is she growing it? Is she changing it? Finally, she got it enough. Where it was like, I can't worry about her journey. I can only worry about mine. Precisely. You can't change someone on their journey. You can't make them learn fast enough for you. You can't tell them all about all this stuff if they're not ready to hear it. They have to be ready. So you allow them to come to their own determination of what is or what is not, and you let them come to their own determination of when they're ready to hear something like this. And when they're ready, it will be there. The right book will be there, the right class will be there, the right teacher will be there, the right healer will be there. It's the way it is. Okay? So what do? We find compassion for all. That is essential to having a balanced life. Are you balanced? If you're constantly feeling sick and sad about all of the turmoil that's going on in life, the starving children in Africa, the women who are being suppressed, is this helpful? The racism, the segregation, big banking, big business, big pharma, is it helpful? No. It is not helpful at all for you to be worried and upset about it. If you're worried or upset about it, remember what you're doing. You are taking all that negative energy that you've got about it and you're throwing it at it, feeding the issue. I have said this many times, and I may somehow regret it, but those stupid little pink ribbons must stop. Okay? They must stop. We are constantly focusing on breast cancer this, breast cancer that. But have you noticed that breast cancer has increased? You don't think that's because we're constantly focusing on it and putting all this negative attention toward it? I'm sorry, those pink ribbons make a lot of money. Let's not forget that that's out there to do that. Okay? Do I have empathy? Yes, I have 3 grandparents who died of cancer. My father has cancer. Is it serious? Yeah. But when you promote it in that way, is it really helpful? When you get upset about it, is it helpful? So it's about really understanding a balance with that. If you want to send love to the pink ribbons, send love to the pink ribbons. Send love to the people who have the issue. Okay? Stay in a positive place. Once again, you don't have to like someone else's journey, but you don't get to judge it. Yes? I don't know the story, so I can't. Oh, yes. Political corruption. Yeah. Oh, is it out there? Sure. You know, is big business inappropriate? Totally. You know, do I wish we didn't have things like McDonald's and Burger King? Yes, I do. But you know what? It doesn't pay to worry about it, right? It really doesn't. You know, can we do great things? Yes. Send some love, do something to make a positive change. Charlie and I do not like the healthcare system that's out there. But you know what we're doing? We're not getting mad about it. We're not getting upset about it. We're starting something beautiful. Okay. So the other thing that we talked about are the 6 rules of wisdom. Love yourself and others unconditionally with compassion and understanding. That's what this stuff is all about. Define your wisdom and compassion. That is that first one. When you are applying that wisdom, you do have love for yourself and others unconditionally with compassion and understanding. We have to look within our own heart to find your own personal path of enlightenment. You can find tools like a great book. This workshop will help, but no healer, no book, no workshop is going to heal you. The only one who can heal you is you. The rest are tools. Come to your own realization of what is or is not, and that's kind of what we were talking about with you cannot tell anyone any of this until they're ready. Work for the good of all instead of the good of one. Allow others to make their own choices on their path, whether it's approved of by you or not. And just be. Let life unfold. Don't force, don't expect, don't lament, and don't overplan. We went through Finding Your Compassion worksheet. We did that by trying to apply with the 3 different wisdoms to every situation that comes your way. First of all, it's about finding compassion for yourself in any situation. Second of all, it's about finding compassion for others. And third, it's in finding wisdom to the whole situation. The whole thing for us is about letting go. Ask yourself when you're ready to let go these questions. Did someone else build my foundation? Did somebody else build for me whether I feel safe or stable or secure? Did someone build whether I feel loved or wanted or supported? Did somebody else build for me how I believe about what my beliefs are about money? Did somebody else build for me whether I feel, whether I can receive good, loving touch? If anyone built your foundation but you, it's time to excuse it. It's time for you to build your own foundation. It's time for you to say, I knew when I came into this physical body, I knew ahead of time that I would inherit a body to live in that has genetics and programming from my ancestors. Okay, I may never have been in this lineage before, but I'm in it now. And what do I carry on? I bring in how my mother felt. I've got that genetic. It's genetic memory. I carry in how my father felt. I carry in how my grandparents felt. And I have a choice right now to say, do I want to continue with that pattern? Do I want to hold my mother's insecurities or my father's self-doubt? Nope. I am making the choice to stop it here. And guess what happens? When you make that choice to stop it, you will change your lineage. You will change your ancestors. You will change your children. You change because you are changing the genetic structure. We are not separated. You guys share genetics. I have watched as I have changed and as my daughter has changed. I have watched my daughter's father change, and I have watched my family change. And there's no reason for it. They're not reading any books. They're not getting enlightened. They're not doing any of those things, but suddenly they're changing. Yes.
And the study showed that by changing blood, like they can take blood outside of your body, and then they would do tests to put nutrients into that blood, your body would react to it. So it shows like how the molecules, what you're saying.
It really is miraculous, and there are a few different studies on that. One of them is with a plant, and what they did is they put a plant in another room. They took some of the plant cells out. They went to the plant in the other room, and they had electrodes hooked up to the plant cells, and they went in the other room and they said, "Let's light the plant on fire." And the plants in the petri dish where the cells were going nuts. It was vibrating in this panic, and they did the same thing with enzymes from, it was like yogurt enzymes or something like that. They took the yogurt enzymes away from the little cup of yogurt and they put it over here and they mixed in some food. Well, over there, it was the test subject was reacting because it wanted food too. It was all excited. Okay, so they show that, we don't, just because we're not in this body, it doesn't matter. You're sharing genetics, you're sharing the information with your family. You're going to change them as you change. Paulo Coelho said it best. He said, when you change, everyone around you changes. Okay? So decide whether you want to stay in the foundation that was built for you when you were a child, or say, I'm taking control. I'm taking my own internal empowerment, and I'm letting go. And I know that as I let go of my self-esteem, my mother's self-esteem is getting better. The other thing is to ask yourself, are someone else's words describing me? Do I have somebody else's recording going off in my head? Is that what's happening there? You will never succeed. You're not good enough. You're a pain in the ass. Okay? These are all words that I've heard from my clients that their parents have said to them. There's some way worse. I won't repeat those. Are those words describing you? Are they describing belief systems within you? Money is hard to come by. It's always a struggle. Money is evil. Okay? Government is bad. Ooh. Okay. What is that doing to the inside of you? Thinking about this. Wasn't I always seeking the 5 factors? Can I forgive me? Thinking about this. Aren't I a part of source energy? Aren't I exactly the same? I'm just in this human existence, this experience. Yeah, I am. Aren't I a beautiful soul? I have said this before and I'll say it again. One of my favorite pieces that Source has given me is when I look at people, I can see who they are behind the human conditioning. I get to see little video clips of them. I get to see their soul in all their multiple colors. Never have I ever, despite whatever pain in the ass human is in front of me, never have I ever met a soul that I don't like. They're amazing. They're beautiful. And I'll tell you honestly, they're always smiling and laughing. Always. Always. We're just in the human condition. So what do we want to do? We want to judge people. We want to get upset with them and say how awful they are. But you know what? Honestly, they're just as beautiful as you and I. We're all source. The other thing that we talked about, and I had to rush past this a little bit so that I could get finished up last time, so I'm going to take a little bit more time on this, and then we're going to do some meditating. A lot of times, you have to go back and treat who created the negative emotion, the needs, and the behaviors within you. It is important to go back and ask yourself, what younger version of me created my insecurity? What younger version of me created my self-doubt? What younger version of me created whatever? Okay? Sometimes you can find it. Sometimes, guys, you were born with it. It came in from a past life. But what this is about is any of these that we can find in this lifetime, it's important to go back to them. So in meditation, we go back to a younger version of us. Sometimes what we need to do with that younger version is love them, nurture them, take them out of unsafe situations and let them feel safe. Okay? We need to go back to situations and we need to empower them. And we need to let them see how amazingly beautiful they are. There are so many times, I would say 95% of the time I work with somebody on the table, what I'm doing is I'm bringing their beauty in to let their younger use that we just cleared all this stuff with, let them see how amazing they are. And we're going to do that today. So we have to go back to them, and the first thing we do, we help them to let go of negative emotion within them, let go of the emotions that are stuck, that have created programming like you're not good enough. After we do that, we take them and we talk with them. You need to share with them your wisdom. Here's one of the pitfalls of today's counseling. We talk today in this adult mind about healing the self. we talk about the child self and healing the child self. So all of our wisdom is here. I'm okay now. I forgave my mom. Everything is okay. I don't hold resentment. I get why she did what she did. I get her. Does your 12-year-old know that? No. You do have to go back and work with the 12-year-old. Thank you, Siri. It is on. Everything's off. It's just plugged in. That's hilarious. Certainly entitled to that opinion. Oh, that was pretty funny. Okay. Recover. That was great. And I am entitled to that opinion. The opinion that you have to go back and you actually have to share your wisdom that you gained. You have to share the wisdom that you gained as an adult with your younger yous. If you don't change them, you don't change you. The programming stays. Make sense? And here's the other thing we have to do. We have to get into that place of accepting that we are a human being. We're having a human experience. And it's not bad to have the human experience. We asked for it. We wanted it. Signed up with color, flying colors. Yes! All right. Bad situations are our greatest teachers. Remember the story that I shared with you last time about the littlest angel who said, I get to go to Earth, really excited about it, and I get to go learn lessons. And who did he recruit? This young little angel who was going to come and help him and was so excited about it. And she said, but you have to remember, I'm going to betray you. Please remember, I love you when I betray you. And the whole story for this little angel is when he goes to Earth, she's his wife and betrays him. And it's harmful. But that bad situation was the teaching that he asked for and was excited to come down and have. The other thing is you can't avoid the human experience. You're human. So when you screw up, when you get mad, when you tell somebody they're a big poopy head, and you really enjoy doing it, don't beat yourself up. Okay? It's going to happen. But what do? We recover very quickly. Okay, maybe only I call people poopy heads. But that would be my 12-year-old mentality. So we have to actually love the experience that we're in, regardless of our behavior. Do we check our own behavior? Yeah. Is it right for us to have called them a poopy head? No. Do we wish we hadn't? Yes. But to beat yourself up for it? Okay, we just learn for next time. You didn't come here to be in peace. Another thing to remember, accept that you're having the human experience. So on all of that stuff, tell me where you're at. That's pretty funny. Okay, anyone? Did you call her a poopy head? Yes, he said, he held up a sign, he just said, I'm with a poopy head. A new t-shirt. Okay, so let me just ask what your thoughts are on all of that. Comments, reactions, where are you at? Yes.
The thing about coming back to the 12-year-old, whenever I immediately went to a place and witnessed a scene that happened in my parents' house over and over again. It was a giant imprint that I had never come to until sitting here right tonight. So it brought tears. And I really get going back and review how important it is. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It is so important. And that's one of the things I've treated many counselors and psychologists. And when they really have told me, I've forgotten and I've let go. I mean, I've worked on myself for years. And they get on the table, and when we go back to their children, they're a bawling mess. And they get off every time, and they say, I get it now. I get it. I have to go and work with them. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So what she was explaining is that, what if you don't remember? And she shared a story about how, she didn't know her, didn't remember her mother. And for a long time, her mother had left. And she doesn't remember before age 5. And her mother said, don't go in the past and don't look, but that's your mom's issue. and what it is, and she said it's the exact opposite of what you're feeling. Well, what's going to happen is this, is that you may not have memories, but your body remembers. It does not forget. So what you do is you don't go back looking for memories. You go back feeling the energy. And you ask your body, take me back to my 5-year-old. And you feel the energy. You don't have to have a memory, but you can feel it. And you nurture and you love that beautiful 5-year-old. You let them know about you today. You let them know your wisdom. You let them understand your mom. You do those types of things, and that is going to heal you. And that 5-year-old will know you're there. The same thing, past lives, guys, the same thing. I've had many clients go back to the womb, right? Any other questions, thoughts? Okay, we're going to do an emotional clearing, so I want you to get nice and comfortable. The radio. Go with that. All right. The thing to remember in meditation is just don't cross. I'm trying not to have like body parts all totally crossed. If you want to sit cross-legged, that's fine. But you just want to keep your arms kind of open a little bit because we want the energy to be flowing well within the body. All right. Let's start by taking a nice, deep cleansing breath. Remember to breathe deep into the perineum. Breathing very deep, allowing the body to relax. Sinking in. Taking a really deep breath, breathing energy in through the crown of the head, bringing it all the way down your body as you breathe in source energy. Holding slightly at the top of the breath and breathing out anything stressful, any tension that you don't want to hold. Just letting it go. Allow yourself to take one last deep cleansing breath. Allow yourself to let go. First thing that I'd like you to do is imagine that your feet are growing energetic roots, and you're growing them into Mother Earth. And as your energy is growing into Mother Earth, you are feeling her warmth, her stability, her safety. She is nurturing. She is loving. She is supportive. She is already in service to others and is here to support you in your growth and in your beauty. Allow that energy to flow up to your knees, in through the bottoms of the feet, up to the knees. Allow that beautiful energy, earth energy, to flow up to the hips and into the pelvic cavity. Allow that amazing energy to flow into the abdomen, up into the chest, feeling supported, feeling safe, feeling loved. Allow this energy to flow down your arms and out each and every fingertip. Feel this energy flowing up into your neck, into your head. Feel it flowing out the top of the head and flowing into earth energy, flowing into the energy field around your body. And now, take your conscious thought and move it back behind your eyes in the center. Really depositing your thought, dropping it off for a little while. Don't let thought enter in. And since your eyes are closed, it doesn't make any sense to project any sight forward. Move your sight inside of you. Allow yourself to sink even deeper into the middle of the brain, into that pineal, your third eye. And as you melt into that space, you can see in all directions at once. Allow the crown of your head to open nice and wide, and a column of white light to flow into the body. As it flows in, you feel your connection with all things. Allow your throat to open, feeling your truth. Allow your heart to open, feeling your love. Allow your solar plexus to open, feeling your vulnerability of emotions. You're allowing it to be exposed to you. And as you feel that opening, ask yourself, what child me needs me? What child me do I need to go back and love? Do I need to explain things to? Do I need to let release? And just let whatever child you needs to come forward, come forward. Don't think about it. Let it happen. And as that beautiful child you comes forward, allow yourself to first wrap your energy around that you. Love that you. And allow that beautiful you to release any emotion that they need to let go of. Tell them that you are releasing with them. Surrender the emotion. And as they are letting go, you can rock them, you can support them, you can nurture them. If you need to, take them to a safe location. Empower them. And now share your wisdom. Share what you've learned in this class. Share information about your parents. Now, holding that beautiful you close to you, open up your sacral energies just below the navel. Open that up and feel who you are as a soul before you ever came into this body. Feel how amazingly beautiful you are. And let your younger you feel that. And then just for a moment, play. Just play with your younger you. any way that you see fit, whether it's you yesterday or you from 20, 30, 40, even 50 or 60 years ago. Play. Let them feel your joy. And now, allow that beautiful younger you to move into your soul, because that's where they reside anyway. And as they move in, allow them to feel support, love, acceptance. Feel your nurturing acceptance. And whenever you are ready, come on back into the room, feeling a little bit lighter. Let that go for everyone. Amazing. Yeah, it's a beautiful container here. So can you feel how important it is to go back? I don't know if you remember this, but I think I mentioned this in the second class, that one of the very healthy things that you can do is to go back and create a list of you, a timeline of you. What do I remember from this age? What was I like? What was I working through? What did I feel at that time? And by creating that timeline, you can go back and say, I need to go nurture this one. I need to go accept this one. I need to go bring love to this one. I need to empower this one. And just allow yourself to go through those experiences. We're going to shift now. Now we're rolling. Now we're going to go. This stuff will go fairly quickly because you guys now have all the basics under your belt. Once you have the basics of all of this understanding, now we can branch off into other areas like money and relationships and healing. Okay? So this is going to go somewhat quickly. We're going to talk first of all about the energy of relationships. This right here is your energetic atmosphere. All of us carry an energetic atmosphere, all right? This energetic atmosphere is just like the Earth has one, we do too. It is 24 inches out from your body. This is your energy field. Your energy field is carrying all of your little biophotons because here's the newsflash, you can't contain them. They cannot be contained. You're not solid. So your little biophotons are floating out over into here and floating into everyone around you, but you've got a concentrated area right here, okay? Whoops, there we go. So if you think about your energy and you know that you can't contain it, we need to think about how everything in life is energy then. The air is energy. Okay, the trees are energy, the floor is energy, the building is energy, everything is energy. The glasses on top of Oceana's head are energy. Everything is energy, all right? And everything carries an energy. Not only do people carry an energy, situations actually develop their own energy. All right, so if there's conflict, that creates its own energy. A wedding will create an energy around it. Meetings will create an energy. The Heal Center has its own energy. Places, houses, towns, states, planets, they all create their own energy. And I don't know if anybody saw the newsletter today that we put out, but I put a little blurb in there about how Did you know that different houses, towns, places, states, everything carries a different energy? And you're going to be drawn to the ones that match your energetic signature. Okay? You won't be able to go into certain places because it just doesn't match your signature. Okay? You won't be able to go to certain people's homes. You won't be able, it just doesn't feel comfortable to you because it doesn't match your energy. Towns are the same way. You're going to be drawn to the town that matches your energetic vibration. That's what happens. Okay? Or places in a town. LA, we know, is a big town, but it's got all kinds of different, sections. So you'll be drawn to sections or to places that, match your signature. Do you have a question? Jay asked, isn't that energy always changing? Yes, everything is fluctuating. However, the energy signature it stays. Yeah, in general, stays for a while. Our energy will go if when somebody passes away. Yes, I do go into grief for them, and I will lower my energetic signature. If I'm sick, I'll have a lower energetic signature or energetic vibration, but it's going to bounce right back to where I am. My standard. Okay. But the other thing is, even think about this. Paper, your little workbook, it has an energy. CDs have an energy. Art, music, contracts, publications, cards, tattoos, conversations, everything carries its own vibration. Okay, so when people are singing and they're angry and they're putting that anger into the song, well, guess what? You're getting that anger right at you. If they're all depressed and upset, well, you're getting that energy right into you. Okay? Yes, food and water absolutely carry an energy. Absolutely. Yep, right. Dr. Emoto and his words on water. That's more intention. But it is the same thing. He created an intention with that, and you're going to feel that intention in your body. If an animal was brutally slaughtered at the end of its life, don't think that's not in the food you're putting in your body. Of course it is. Our relationships have an energy, okay? So I want you to think about this. It doesn't matter whether it's a romantic relationship, friendships, co-workers, strangers, acquaintances, or family. What happens is that it carries an energy. We want to talk about 4 different things with energy with people, okay? We want to talk about how their energy matches our vibration. We want to talk about how it flows from our field, how it flows from person to person, and how it flows into situations. So we're going to start with matching our energetic vibration. This chart is going to determine where you are on this chart. When I was down in here, guilt and shame, guess what I brought in for relationships? Ooh, an abusive boyfriend. Oh, what did I bring in for friendships? A very shallow group of friends who didn't really have my best interest in mind. All right? That's what I brought in because that's where my energy was. How were the situations with my friends? Drama, and more drama. What happened with my family? Drama and more drama. Okay? I brought that in because that's where I was. There were certain people in my family who weren't bringing in that drama. And we were the same family. But I got the drama drawn to me because partly I was initiating a lot of it. Okay, and I was engaging in a lot of it because I needed to be right and validated and special. All right? So all those things were there because of me. Right? When I changed my vibration, what happened? All of those friends just left. The boyfriend gone. Suddenly I get Charlie and Eli. Whew, awesome. That was beautiful. I brought in people who are amazing. Suddenly my family and I don't have any drama. My friends and my daughter and I don't have drama. Well, okay, occasional. But, we're human. And we are mother and daughter. So, but really it lasts like that and then it's done. It's amazing. Everything changes. Okay? So your relationships around you are a product of you and don't think that they're anything but. So let's think about this. Aside from that, you're going to draw things into your life, okay, based on what's flowing from your field. So I want you to think of this. There's your great little biophoton, right? Okay? Remember that it's a hexagonal shape? And guess what? Hexagons, when we draw them out 3-dimensionally, are prisms. What are prisms? Prisms are crystals. What are crystals? Crystals are microchips. And what do microchips do? They hold information. So your little biophotons have all of this programming, information. Okay? So let's just say that you've got a situation where you're mad at someone. Just keep that in mind. We want to think about what kind of information is flowing from your body. You also want to think about this. This is carrying your story. Everybody's got a story. You've got a story around money. You've got a story around friendships. You've got a story around whether people like you or not. You've got a story about whether you're successful, whether you can be successful. You've got a story. Okay? And your story is all in your field. So it's about what kind of beliefs do you carry in your field in regard to the people around you? Do they like you? Do people trust you? Are you approachable? Do they treat you with respect? Do they judge you? Do they want to be your friend? What is your story? That's a painful thing to look at, but a necessary thing to look at. I remember when I was in my lower space, I would go into social situations and I wanted to crawl in a cave and die. And anybody who knows me right now, I mean, God, how social could I be? But at that time, I didn't. I wanted to crawl in a hole. I was so insecure. I felt that everybody didn't like me, and I felt that everybody was judging me, and I felt that people were I just felt this uncomfortableness because I felt that in me. And guess what happens? Because our biophotons are carrying our information, all of those little energetic pieces were going into the people around me. And guess what? They kind of stayed away from me. That's what I thought they would do. I programmed them to do it. The people around us respond to our biophotons. We're creating little puppets. We're creating little puppets to respond to us based on what we think and feel about ourselves. So I decided to play with this once I was getting into this healing space, that I was going to feel really great, and I was going to have this understanding that everybody liked me. And I remember going to a party or something, I don't remember where I was, but I was like, everyone's going to like me, and they're going to want to talk to me. And everybody liked me, and they wanted to talk to me. And I was like, should have done that a while ago. Okay? But you have to believe it. You have to be in that space where you believe it and you understand it. They're only responding to you. So here's a big one. People aren't trustworthy. People treat me bad. They're not trustworthy. They steal things from me. Well, what's going to happen? They won't know why, but they're going to want to steal the heck out of you. Does that even make sense? They're going to want to steal from you. So we had a situation, Charlie's twin and I, where we were traveling with a group of people. And it was a caravan of people. And one of the girls who was driving in her vehicle was so paranoid that everything was going to be stolen. We would pull up to a gas station, she'd lock a billion times. She's like, is this a bad part of town? Are we going to be okay? And she was all fearful. And we had stopped off in a town, and we were at a hotel, and everybody parked their stuff. And we had a moving van with us. It was unlocked with tons of stuff in it. Unlocked. Totally unlocked, okay? We had a car that was being pulled behind it with tons of stuff up to the windows. It was pretty obvious you could steal from that thing. Out of all the cars in this huge hotel, whose window got broken into? Hers. The car alarm is going off at 5 in the morning. She's like, it's my car! No, it's my car! And it was her car. And stupid me said, you just manifested that. Oh, God. I was tired. And I just blurted out because I knew she had. Her fear brought that into the situation. They didn't touch the van. They didn't touch the car full of stuff. Hers was all hidden, and it was all stolen. We create the scenarios around us. There's another situation. There was a girl who when she was married, her husband was always saying, people are always, what did he say? Always criticizing me. Everybody criticizes me. And she's a really nice person, and she doesn't criticize anyone. And she said, I remember the day that I was like, we were walking, and I don't know what it was. I wanted to turn around and criticize him. And she was like, what am I thinking? And she's like, oh my God, that wasn't me. That was him. It was him thinking so much that he wanted to criticize, or was being criticized, that I wanted to turn around and criticize him. And I have watched that play out with myself, where I'll say something, and it's like, why did I say that? I don't say things like that. And I realized, oh, that was him, or that was her, not me. Okay? You have to know you're creating the responses around you. Okay? Fear is going to do it terribly to you. So I have a little worksheet I want you guys to fill out. This is called What's Your Story? All right? What's Your Story is all about what's your story. It's going to ask you a few questions. Those of you who are at home, all you want to do is you just want to think about, what do you carry in your field? What is your story around family? What's your story around friends, coworkers, and strangers? What is your story? And just jot a few things down because we don't have a terrible amount of time. Clipboard. Write in some words or anything you want to. This is all for you. You can just think about it if you want to. There's no direction on this. You're not going to read those out loud in front of everyone, I promise you. These are yours. And when you're finished with this, it's a great time to take a break if you need to. Grab some tea, use the restroom, stretch your legs. Oh, it did? I wonder maybe you don't go all the way over. Yeah.
I couldn't see.
Okay, I can ask Charlie. He'll know.
I slid the button all the way from the right to the left.
Okay. I'm not sure. Well, that's Charlie. Okay, we're going to start here in just a couple seconds, guys. A body problem? Oh, dear. Oh. I think I was the last one in there, but there was a little bit of toilet paper in there when I went in there. We have a plunger in there, don't we?
Well, it's water.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, I'm going to run out of time, so I need to keep going. Okay, can you turn me on, and I'll start, and then let's just use, what's that?
You're back on. You turn yourself
on. Oh, turn me on. Curves. All right. Just because of the sake of time, we're going to run out so quickly. Sorry about that. We're going to keep going. We're having a little overflow issue in the restroom. So, all right. Right. Okay, so one of the things to do when it comes to your story is that it's important that you start to retrain your story. And especially when it comes to things like relationships and money, here's what's going to happen with you. When you retrain your story, you're going to think you're full of duty when you first start saying it. People love me. They really love me. They love talking to me. That's so baloney. I don't believe that. Okay, will you keep saying it, please? Eventually, if you keep saying it and you keep making it your story, it becomes your story. I had a story about sleep. I wake up at 3 o'clock every morning, and it's really awful, and I hate that I wake up at 3 o'clock every morning. And I told everybody I woke up at 3 in the morning. So what did I do every morning? I woke up at 3 in the morning. And when I started to tell people, all right, I'm just changing my story. I'm telling everybody I sleep like a rock. I sleep like a rock. You know, people complain about their sleep. I'm like, I sleep like a rock. You know, and honestly, what happened? I sleep like a rock now. Like nothing disturbs me. I'm just like, ow. So you just have to really be careful about the story that you're creating. And when you first change your story, know it's going to sound a little false. But when you start to tell yourself that story enough, guess what? You believe it. And it becomes your reality. He's ready. So we're going to move now into a little bit more in the energy of relationship. We're going to talk about how it flows from person to person. This is critical. So I want you to think about a relationship that you had or an argument that you had with someone or a drama fest that you had going on with someone, okay? And in this drama fest, I've got two girls just to kind of just explain this. This one is saying, I'm just not playing her game. It's over. And this one is saying, I'm hurt, but I let it go. I'm over it. I'm fine. I'm just really hurt. Okay, so you've got two different women reacting to each other in two very different ways. What you have is when you have energy of any kind going toward another person, you are actually creating these energetic little tentacles that will go into them. And in these cases, here it is. Let's look at the girl who is feeling wounded. I feel wounded is going and directed to her. You betrayed me. You hurt me. Okay? This girl, you lied. I am angry at you. Okay? Whatever your energy is that you have directed at someone, you have to check your words. What is being directed to them? Whether it's, even if you think it's true, you betrayed me. If you're upset about it, guess what? The energy is being directed. You are creating this open line of energetic tentacles, okay? So these energetic tentacles are coming out from you and going to each other. It is creating the energy of the situation. So this situation has an energy all of its own. How do you keep the energy alive of that situation? You feed it. What are you feeding it with? Those words. Okay? So these words are creating a situation. And if we think of any of these words, what level of vibration are we at with that? Pretty low. Okay, this is a colossal mess. All right? When you've got that going toward, even if you're in this girl's situation, I'm hurt, but I let it go. I'm over it. I'm hurt. Okay, so she's not outwardly angry, but she's wounded. Look at her words. I feel wounded. You betrayed me. You hurt me. She's playing a victim. She might very well have good reason to be the victim, but anytime you play the victim, that's low energy too. Nobody's a victim to this life. We're bringing these in. Yes. It is an entanglement. It's a big entanglement. And what happens is that anything other than understanding, compassion, and love is going to create this. Okay? So here we have these girls with this whole energetic tentacles that are connected to their emotions, and they're feeding the conflict. Think about how you have fed an issue with another person. Have you sent energy to someone else? Just think about it. How have you fed it? First thing that you need to do is you need to always analyze your own energy. Any situation that is happening with anyone, I don't care what it is. And I don't care if you have a laundry list of reasons why they're at fault. You're no victim. You brought this in, there's a situation, it's in your lap, and it's there for a reason. It doesn't matter the laundry list. Okay? So you want to ask, what is being triggered in you? Why are you feeling like a victim to human condition? If you look at this girl here, this one here, okay? She doesn't have to be a victim to anything. She doesn't have to feel wounded. She doesn't have to feel hurt. If this girl is betraying and this girl is being mean and this girl is being nasty, well, that's where she's at. Why does it have to affect you? Because she lied to me. Oh, well, okay. Well, that's her lying. Because she cheated on my husband on me. Okay. Are you going to be upset? Of course you are. I'm not validating that. I am validating. Yeah, of course you're going to be a little upset, but you know what? That whole situation you're in is partly you. I don't care if they did it. I don't care if there's betrayal. You're bringing it. So you want to think about what is being triggered in you. What do you have to learn from this conflict, and where is your energetic signature? Those are your questions. Okay? What do you have to learn from this is a very healthy one for you to think about. Why is this brought into your realm? The second thing is to find your compassion. How is the other person being triggered by you? Really think about that. That's a big one. And they are being triggered by you, or you two would not be in conflict. What are they feeling, and how did they get to this point? That's your compassion. Here's the other thing. You never know where they're coming from. You don't know that this girl over here isn't so unhappy in her own life, and she's desperately seeking love, and she found it with your husband because he gave it to her. Okay? And why did he give it to her? Because he's not getting it from you. All right? We don't know the situation. We don't know what people are going through. But we have to look at our own behavior in every single situation. We have to ask ourselves to find some wisdom. Can you? And remember, everything, think that energy that goes into you here. When that energy goes in here, if you start to get into your chatter, whose fault is it going to become? Their fault. Okay? Society's fault. The world's fault. It's all going to be projected outward. But if you can stop and ask yourself those key questions, what is my part? What am I bringing in? Why did this happen to me? You know, what is it that I need to learn from this? Suddenly, your wisdom is going to be there. And what's going to happen? You can get into a place of forgiveness. Now, I know how hard this is. I had a gentleman that I was working with the other day. And what he was saying is he's got some conflict with an ex-wife. And he's like, yeah, but she. And I said, but you know what? He's like, why do I have to be the wise one? Why, she's got to be wise too. No, she doesn't. Well, no, if I have to be wise, she does too. No, she doesn't. All you have is you. And honestly, I want you guys to think of that baby to infant to young to mature to old soul. Some baby souls, they can't go there, but you can. None of you in this room are baby souls. I'm sorry to announce this. You're going to have to deal with that. You wouldn't be here if you were. Okay? You can handle it. You are able to move into your wisdom even if they can't. And so what that means is you can forgive and walk away even if she's not in that place. You don't have to like her journey, but you don't get to judge it. And something drew this to you. So the whole key in any energy of relationship is this. Use this. Find your wisdom. Come back to this time and time and time again. You don't know what their journey is. And so what can happen? You can remove your tentacles and you can block theirs. Okay? Let me explain that. I do this a lot with people. A lot. Because conflict is there with people. Once you examine yourself and you say, okay, what emotions do I have going at them? I've got this judgment, I've got that judgment, I've got this hurt, I've got this wounding, I'm a victim, I'm mad, and I think they're just a big poopy head. Okay? So, yeah. So you got that going into them. And it's about, where's my compassion? What can I find for understanding? I had a client who I was working on this yesterday with. And I said, she couldn't find her compassion. She couldn't find it. So finally, I'm like, okay. So I did a reading on the woman she was upset with. And I told her, this woman is going through this. This is what's happening with her. Do you understand that? She's like, oh, well, now I can find compassion. And I said, no, that's not it. She's like, no, if you just tell me every time I can find it. No, that's not it. I wished I had never done that. Because it's not about the specific person. I said, this situation you're in with this woman, it's not about this woman. It's about you. You're going to keep bringing this woman in a different flavor every day, until you get it. You don't know what people are going through. Your compassion has to come even if you don't know their specific situation. Because you don't know. So it's about saying, I've got to find some compassion. I don't know what they're going through. I'm going to pull that back. I know that they were wounded in childhood. I don't know how that affects that. I'm going to pull it back. I'm no victim. I drew this in, pulling it back. And you keep pulling your own tentacles back until you're in a place where you are truly, and you have to be truly, you can't make this up. I'm in a place of compassion. I can really understand that I brought this in. And guess what that takes? Humility. You have to get into humility. You have to humble yourself and realize you're not going to be right in this. You're not going to be better than. You're not going to get validated. You're not going to get justified for being a martyr. But you're going to, inside yourself, you're going to understand you and you're going to pull it back. When you do that, you can set boundaries. That shield that I talked to you about, that energetic field around your body, that atmosphere, that's yours. We're going to set a little bit of boundaries in a moment, okay? This is yours. And you can choose in this little place of centeredness and peace, 24 inches around you, above you, and below you. You have a choice to fill it with negativity and fill it with resentment and fill it with wounding and victimization, or you can choose to fill it with love. And so you're going to set boundaries. So I want you guys just to close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to feel these words. We're not going to get into a big meditation, but I want you to feel these words. I want you just to sense the energy around your body, 24 inches in front of you, behind you, to the left, the right, to the top and the bottom of your being. Feel that energy. That's yours. This is your atmosphere. This is your place of centeredness and peace. And if you get upset by what other people do, what are you putting into your field, into your energy? Upset. If you let little things bother you, what's going to happen? Negativity in your field. So, I want you first of all to clear your field. I want you to ask your field, any negative energy that is sitting in my field, I surrender and release. It is not serving me. It never does. Clear it. Oh, nice. Good. Lots of release happening in this room right now. Worry, fear, anger, hurt. And now I want you to feel these words. This is my energetic field. It is my place of centeredness and peace, and I want you to claim it. This is yours. Love may enter here, and love may exit here, but no negative energy may enter my field. No one, and I mean no one, everyone, may attach themselves to my energy. No one may steal or drain my energy. And I want you to imagine a platinum shield around the outside of you. Platinum is high vibrating and it's very dense. It's also reflective. So I want you to imagine this reflective shield around you. And anyone who's directing any negative energy your way, it'll bounce right back to them because it's not coming in your field. This is your place of centeredness and peace. And now I want you to feel your empowerment in that field. Mine, my beauty, my centeredness, mine. And come on back. You can easily do that in any situation. The other thing that you can do is you can communicate with whoever is upset with you. Once you have yourself in check, you can communicate with them by getting into a meditative state, getting into your pineal, because when you're in your pineal gland, there is no time, there is no space. All right? And what you can do is imagine what you feel like in their presence. What do I feel like when I'm around them? Try to keep anger out of there, but okay. What do I feel like? Okay, and I'm going to call them to me. And have a conversation, but there are some rules. Here's the rule. Get your ego out of there. You are not going to convince them of anything, and you're not going to manipulate them. You are going to share with them what they need to understand about you. No ego, no manipulation, no trying to convince. You're just sharing blatant honesty about what they need to understand about you. And it is amazing how effective that is. I've had multitude of people who didn't believe that it would affect anything. And they have texted me or called me or emailed me to tell me, oh my God, that totally worked. They respond so differently to me. Yeah, because you changed you. Everyone around you changes. Now, I need to explain to you, this is not in here, so you're going to need to write this down if you need to. These are the ways that you will break down your barriers where all this energy can come right back in. Okay? Here's how you're going to break it down. If you reform any of your tentacles, if you get angry again, if you feel a victim again, if you feel, that they've done you wrong, if you can't find your compassion, you're going to open it all up and they're going to get it right back in. Okay? And you've reformed yours. Okay? The other thing, though, is to really think about how you break down your barrier when you feel sorry for someone. And I mean that. We can feel compassion for them, but if you feel sorry for someone, guess what they can do? Their tentacles can attach to you because you are feeling bad for them. Yeah, but they're going through cancer and they have all this and all this is going on in their life and it's a really, and then they got in a car accident and I just want to help them and I want to, well, guess what you just did? You just opened up your body to become an energy sucker. That person, whoever is going through something, can have your love. And you can explain to them, I do wish you weren't going through this, but you've got to check you. They brought that situation in for their growth. If you take the responsibility for their life, you're going to do this. You're going to have a hold on their energy. They don't have to learn. They don't have to grow because you're holding it for them. I'm doing everything I can to fix them. You can't fix anybody. You can't make any, you're not, no, you cannot fix them. All you're doing is enabling them. You're holding on to their energy so they don't have to because you feel bad. And now what happened? Now they've got this energy sucker going right into you, draining you of all your energy. Please understand, I am not saying not to be compassionate. That's different. Compassion means I understand you're going through a hard time. If you would like some help moving on Saturday, I'd like to help you. But I'm not going to, oh my God, what can I do to help you? I'm going to drive you everywhere. I'm going to give you all my money. And I've watched clients do that. Doing everything, sacrificing themselves because they want to see someone else happy, and all they're doing is doing their homework for them. They're taking their journey away. You can't do that. I don't care if it's your mom. I don't care if it's your child. I don't care if it's your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend. It does not matter. Everyone is on their journey. And I'm not saying be heartless. I'm saying watch your energy. You did not come to this earth to be open and a vulnerable sucker.
So the feeling sorry for, I wonder if that comes from like fear and compassion.
Oh, perfect. What Oceana said is, I wonder if feeling sorry for comes from here and compassion comes from here. Yeah. Love, compassion, beauty, understanding, wisdom. This, sacrifice, self-sacrifice, over-giving, feeling bad, and now I feel like I feel wounded for you. Well, you just broke down all your barriers, and now you're just an open field for people to put their energy tentacles in. There are people I've gotten on the table who were such givers, and all they ever want to do is fix people. The fixers, I call them little Miss Fix-It. I'm like, okay, Miss Fix-It, get on the table. Let's get all of these people off of you. And I felt like tons of people like retrieving their energy from this woman, and I'm like, how did you even function with all these people on you? You cannot fix people. Only they can fix them. You could just be a great resource and a great support. Yes. Most of the time, that's it. We try to fix people the way that we wish people would fix us, but the reality is nobody else can fix us either. Yes. Absolutely. Allowing the vampire to attach. So when we think about this whole situation, it is about getting you into a good space. When you do that, eventually, whoever Big Baddie is, they're going to fade away because you're not feeding the situation anymore. You have blocked it. Your energy is not allowed in my field, and I'm sorry that you're in a bad place. I cannot own that. That is yours. I'm going to get myself into a great space. I'm going to get my field into a great space. I'm going to check, did I do something inappropriate? And if you did, learn from it. Apologize for it. I can take ownership for what I did, and I'm sorry that I did that. I probably shouldn't have yelled at you and called you a poopy head. Okay? But once we are done with that, what we're going to do, I'm sorry, that's just so silly, my example today. What you're going to do is once you get into that great space, you've got to stay there. You've got to stay there. And I can guarantee you, too, they will try. They're going to come knocking, okay? And it's going to test you. And when there's nothing there, it's going to go away. Okay? Yes.
When we start doing that, it's unfamiliar possibly. So we have to trust the unfamiliar.
Yeah, it is very unfamiliar. It's unfamiliar for us to step into that territory of being very vulnerable, of really finding your humility, and about trusting that they're gonna do their part and leave you alone eventually. That it happens. Just try it. And I've learned through a lot of hardship of going through this, that once you learn the techniques of letting go, finding your wisdom, finding your compassion, and just saying, I cannot own your stuff, they just fade away and it just never comes back to you. No matter how much they said they're going to ruin you or you're going to pay, they don't come back. Okay? Any thoughts or questions on that? Yeah. You mean when you get into a situation with an energy sucker? Yeah, there are going to be lots of energy suckers in your life, and you know, people who want to attach to you because they're codependent, and that's where they're at. No judgment. You know, so that's not name calling. It's just what it is. You know, so when they're coming around you, honestly, what I do is, I'm all immediately like I can feel their energy, and I'm like, and I don't play into their, because some people are very good at being the victim. And they will tell you their sob story. They will tell you about all their health issues. They will start to draw you in, and it's like, you know, reining you in, you know. And basically, I just don't give them any rope. And you know, and I tell them, I'm sorry that's happened. Well, can you help me? Well, I think maybe a really good idea would be for you to help you right now, you know. And you know, because even clients, I really put out there, do not bring me anyone who's not willing to do the work, because I have no interest in playing games like that. It just doesn't pay, you know. So I really am in, you know, you got to be in a place with you for a while. When you really want some help, let me know. You know, or if they do come in and I can feel okay, they're going to work a little bit, I will call them out on being a victim, and I call it out. I do it all the time. You're right now a victim. You cannot be a victim in this situation, you know, because it doesn't help for me to placate, and it wouldn't help you to either. Any other questions, thoughts? Yes.
Sometimes feel a little bit distant, create a sense that you are maybe cold or distant for not giving in to what.
Yes.
So
Agree.
sometimes it's hard to hold that space. You know what I mean? And
it is very hard sometimes to hold that space, and I have had some difficult reactions, but I can tell you that here's what happens. The more that people start to work with you, I'll tell you a comment that a client made to me once, and she made some incredible strides, and I called her out from the moment she got in, and I didn't call her out, but really I just said, you know, I wasn't going to lie to her about her situation, and I just worked with her on the wisdom behind it all. And what she said to me, she finally said to me after about, I want to say maybe about 6 or 7 sessions, she said, yeah, so I've been in therapy for like 20 years. And she said, and I know exactly how to manipulate all of the counselors. I know how to do it. I can manipulate them until the cows come home. And she said, and you know what I realized? I can't manipulate you. She's like, you're going to call me on it. She's like, the reason that I have made more strides in the short time that we've been together that I never made in 20 years is because you didn't let me play you. People eventually appreciate it. At first, did she? Oh, good God, no. She was so angry, and there were some explosions that happened. But you know what? And what I told her is, you don't pay me to lie to you. You don't pay for me to sit here and pacify you. You don't do that. So as practitioners, I know it can be very hard, but it doesn't pay. The other thing with friends, too, here's what doesn't help. I know they're a big baddie. You should be mad. You have a right to be mad at them. That does not help anybody. Okay, that's feeding the drama. So what it does is it's kind of like, well, you know, we don't know where they're coming from. You know, are they ready always to listen to wisdom? No. But you can at least stay in your space of, I'm not going to feed the victimization. Yes.
But you're still not able to like control, like not wanting something to happen. Because I get it, like, oh, just happy and just staying in flow and let go. But what if that thing just really, like, you know all this, but you're still like, yeah, it's still not cool with me.
Yeah, and what I get that, and what she's saying is, you know, what if you still need to kind of maintain some control with that? Then the answer is to look at, why do I need the control? That the answer is always in you. It's never with them, ever. And so it's about looking inside and saying, you know, if I let go, what am I feeling? What is it that I'm feeling? Well, I'm feeling a lack of this, or I'm feeling unsupported here, or I feel like life can be chaotic and it frightens me. I've got fear, or whatever it might be. So it's about looking at what's there. So once again, direct it back in you and not at them. Yeah. Or sometimes situations are a situation you shouldn't be in. It's time to go. So here's what we need to do in this situation. If we're going to do these things, we've already thought about our energetic vibration. We understand that energy flows from our field. We know it flows from person to person. Here's what we need to do. Check your energy. Your role in everything with other people is to clear yourself from anything that keeps you from loving yourself and being true to your higher self, because that's your energetic signature. So step one, with any relationships with other people, check yourself first. Where's my energetic signature? Well, it's in the toilet. I feel lousy. Well, if it's in the toilet, don't expect not to swim around with all the, So you got to check. What do I need to let go of? Where do I need to increase my vibration? What is my self-talk like? The next thing, rewrite your story that you carry. What is the story that I carry around people? What is the story that I carry around relationships, around social situations, around anything? What am I carrying? Examine yourself first in any conflict and find your compassion. Okay. Yes. Rewrite the story to one that empowers you. And rewrite the story in a place where you can be in beautiful positivity. And if you can't write it nicely, then you got to go back here. What do you need to clear from you so you can write a nice story about you? People like me. People appreciate what I do. People treat me well. Okay? All right. Everybody take a big, deep breath. That was energy of relationships. Whoa. Talk about a difficult lesson. I will tell you, it's a hard one. And it takes a big soul to be able to do it. Okay, but we all can. Everybody. Baby and infant souls. Well, not always, but some. All right. So now let's talk about keep all of that stuff in mind. And now let's talk about how do you heal yourself. You know you guys are beautiful, amazing, powerful beings who don't have to hold conditioning and who have all the ability to move energy and bring good things to you because energy moves through thought and feeling. So we're going to talk about healing yourself. And what I'm talking about is Reiki. It is Reiki energy. I can teach the basics in 10 minutes. Okay? Reiki 1 will take me an entire day to train because there's table sessions and there's all this stuff, but actually moving the energy that you need to heal yourself is easy. I want you guys to think inside of your heart. Inside of your heart area, you have something called your thymus gland. Okay, the thymus gland is it looks like this. It's like almost like a little heart in a way, kind of shaped kind of strangely with one side longer than the other. All right, this thymus gland is very developed when you're a baby and an adolescent. Okay, and it starts to, they say atrophy or turn to fatty tissue when you're older. Honestly, I think that's because we don't use it. It is also responsible for our immune system. Okay, and so what happens when we want to increase our immune system, sometimes people do tapping here. Okay, but this is also a place where we create healing energy. We can create healing energy within ourselves by feeling our love and our joy and our bliss, and we can send it to ourselves and we can send it to others. We can send that healing, beautiful energy into our body. When we have pain, open this up, feel your love, feel your joy, feel your bliss, and send it to wherever your pain might be in your body, okay? That's amazing. There's another way, too. It's not just your energy you're going to be working with when you go to heal yourself. And when I talk about healing, it can be healing for emotions, healing for mental chatter. It can be healing for physical things. We can bring it in from source energy as well. If we can't find unconditional love within here, bring it in. I usually do a combination of both. So I open up my heart into a beautiful, loving space. Clear my mind. I get into my pineal gland. And I intend. Okay? I intend for energy to flow from source energy into your head, into your heart, and into your hands. And I intend the energy to heal, balance, or release. I feel the energy flowing out my hand when I bring it through. Okay, my hands. And every single human being has the ability to do this. All right, every single human being. So we're going to go through a little bit of energy hand healing. I would say probably 90% of the room are healers in this room. So you all know what I'm talking about. Okay? But not everybody who's going to listen to this will be. So we're going to go through it very quickly. But I want you guys to really think about this. When we think of source energy, we're thinking of unconditioned, powerful energy. We're going to bring it down through our third eye. If we're in chatter or thinking, you're not bringing it in. Okay, you're actually projecting it here somewhere. You're bringing it in. You're allowing it to come into your heart by your thymus gland, finding your own love, your own joy, your own bliss as you're bringing it in. That energy flows down your arms, through your myofascial tissue, goes into your hands, and flows out. So all I'm going to do is guide you into bringing the energy through your hands, and I'm going to teach you a very quick, basic understanding of how to do this. My clicker. What we're doing is we're bringing an unconditioned source photons to heal with, and they call that the quantum power to heal. So go ahead, everyone, close your eyes. Take a deep, deep cleansing breath. I want you guys to sink into your energy. I want you to imagine that you can feel all the cells in your body. You can feel your energy. Feel it become light. Feel it become airy. And now take that conscious thought of yours and move it back behind your eyes in the center. Move your attention into your pineal gland, resting your thought, getting rid of chatter. Feeling your energy again as you're in your pineal. Letting it expand and relax even more. Allow your sight to be inside of you. Open the crown of your head. And intend that healing, loving, beautiful, pure source energy may enter in through the crown of your head. It's going to enter into your third eye. It's going to flow down through the neck, down into your heart. Feel just that direct line, source energy in through crown of head, down into heart. Now imagine, just by intending that that energy is going to flow now into your arms, flowing down and flowing into your hands. Intend it. Allow your energy to flow. Source energy in through crown of head, into heart, into hands. And now I want you to imagine that this energy is going to flow out your hands, radiating out your hands. Intend it. Feel the energy flowing into your heart and intend it to flow out your hands and out your fingers. Almost as though you've got rays of energy flowing out your hands. All you have to do is intend it. And now take your hands and place them about an inch apart and open your eyes. And I want you to do this. I just want you to rotate your hands, feeling the energy, and then take your hands and bounce them back and forth. Take your hands, bouncing them back and forth, feeling the energy, and then rotate them again. Feeling the energy. And see what you're feeling. You may feel heat. Bounce them as much as you want. Rotate them any way you'd like to. Feeling the energy. It's going to feel like two ends of a magnet, the same ends coming together. You'll feel polarity. You're going to feel heat. You might feel resistance or buoyancy. Those are all the healing energy that's coming in. And now I want you to place it somewhere on your body, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral energies, wherever you want to. And I want you to intend that this beautiful energy is flowing through the crown of your head, into your heart, into your hands, and back into your body. Feel it flowing. Intend. Is your intention to heal? Is your intention to release old energy? Is your intention to balance yourself? Place an intention. Is it to release pain? Is it to release an excess of electrons? Is it to heal? Oh, it feels wonderful. And just feel it flow. You can heal the younger versions of you by holding your own body and bringing them forward in your mind. You can imagine placing your energetic hands on the younger version of you on their bodies, letting them release. There's so many different ways you can use this. So I want you to come on back a moment. And I want you to think of your own personal healing and your own personal healing journey. And I want you to think about all the chakras that we learned about. And think about all of the healing that can happen with your chakras every day, balancing them, intending that they're healing, intending that negative energy is leaving them, allowing yourself to feel all the energy. Okay? Sending it in. You guys are all healers. How many of you felt tingles or heat or things in your hands? 100%. Okay. Because they're there. You can't stop it. We all have this ability, so use it. And I'm very happy to announce we have time for energy of money. All right, first of all, any questions on bringing in healing energy? You can't stop it. Okay, you can't screw up. It just is. Okay. So now we're going to take all that information, and by the way, you can use that energy that we just learned on healing your root chakra, which is where you're holding your financial issues. Okay, so if there's financial issues, you can heal that too. So we're going to talk about healing your relationship with money. The first thing to think about is to examine the relationship that you have with money. There are 4 focal areas when we look at healing energy of money. The first is, what is your story around money? And we've learned about the story already. The second, what is your family history around money? What are their beliefs? What are you holding? What is your worthiness? That's a biggie. What is your worthiness to bring it in, to receive it? And really, what is your juxtaposition? Are you on an equal level with money, or are you a victim? Okay, so we're going to look at your victimness. The first one is to think about what your story is around money, and I want you all to reflect on this. Are any of these your statements? Money is the root of all evil. Money is hard to come by. Money causes fights. Money goes to everyone but me. Money is needed, or I can't pay my bills. I need it. I never have enough. Money causes me stress. Money shouldn't exist. Money causes greed and bad behavior. Anybody have any of those statements up there? Mm-hmm. Any one of those statements or any statements like those are creating whether you have money flowing into your life or not. When I first moved here, my guides brought me through a very, very, very difficult lesson, and it was around money. I didn't know how I was going to live. I didn't know how I was going to make it here. I had no idea. And I was like starting to get into this little, oh my God, what did I do? I left my cushy job. I left all the money coming in. I sold my house. I don't even know if I'm going to have a client. I don't even know what I'm doing. And what they said to me is, Kelly, you cannot be a victim to money. I'm like, what? Like, what is your story around money? And I said, well, I have to have money. I have to pay my bills. And they said, well, okay. So you're giving it all that power. I'm like, what? You're worried about it? Well, of course I'm worried about it. I have to have it. Kelly, you have to think of it like this. You have to think of it like money is like air. I'm like, what? And they're like, money is air. It's energy. Okay, so it's like air. Air is always there. It flows in, it flows out. It's just there. And I said, you mean I honestly have to get into this place where you're not going to let me worry about it? No, we're not. Oh, wow. Well, that's going to be interesting. And I'll continue that story as I go through this, because it's going to come more when we get into victimization. Because I realized my story stunk. My story is I was worried. My story was I have to have it. My story is it had all the power. Okay? When that's the case and you're worried and you're stressed, what are you sending out to the energy of money? Negative electrons all over in there. Because remember, just like relationships hold money or hold a vibration, so does your relationship with money. It holds a vibration. Mine was pretty low. Okay? I needed to raise my vibration around money. Excuse me. The other thing is to think about then, okay, well, where did I get this idea? Where did I get my story? Where did I get how I feel about money? Well, I had to go back and I had to think of a couple different things. First of all, I had to think of my family. But I realized I also had to think of a past life that kept coming in. I had a past life as a priest. I had actually, I was male and I was a man of the cloth. I don't want to say priest, but I was some man of the cloth. And I took a vow of poverty. And I even had another psychic go, wow, do you know you took a vow of poverty? Yes. I did. So I had that to deal with. But I also had my family. My family, they made great money. They're horrible at managing it. Horrible. Always struggling at the end of the month. And, and then my father, his motto was, well, if I spend it all, I just go make more. And then he was always out. And he was great at making money, but he was always out. So that story was there. There was struggle around it. There was arguing around it. There was stress. Us kids, we knew, oh God, money is hard. I had to really look there. I had to look at what my family was feeling. We always struggled. Money was used to bribe. That wasn't us, but sometimes that's the story. Money was easy to come by, so I never learned to deal with it. I have no way of managing. Money was love, or money caused fights. What's your story? Yeah. Oh, it's a total entanglement with money. Absolutely. Okay, so the next thing, we examine our story. We look at what is my parents' relationship with it? What did I learn about money? And then the next one is to think about how worthy are you to receive money in abundance. This goes right back to that energy signature. Okay? And if you can't say the statement, know that you deserve to receive good in all ways. If you can't say that same thing is going to apply to money. There was a point in my life I did not feel like I was worthy of anything. Okay, and that meant money too. So we have to look at us. So is there clearing that has to be done around there in your worthiness, in your energetic signature? Because remember that chart that goes from the lowest levels of human consciousness up to the top? Not only do you bring in the relationship match your energy signature, money is the same way. If you're down in the dumps, you're going to bring in the money that's going to match that. Okay? So a lot of this has, again, to going back to heal yourself. But then there's this one. Are you a victim? So I'll go back to my story. I'll go back to that story of me being a victim. I was a victim to bills. I was a victim to the societal system. I was a victim to the government and the way that they set up that. I was a victim to big banking. I was a victim to the fact that we had to have money in the first place. I was so much a victim, it wasn't even funny. I placed myself in that victimization role. I gave money power. If I don't have it, I am sunk. There's this little leap of faith you have to do. Remember me telling you the story that for me to get a smaller body, I had to love my bigger one? It's the same thing here. Okay? These laws or rules of energy apply all across the board. For me to get money, I had to not care about the situation I was in. I had to stop the chatter. I had to stop the stress. I had to stop the worrying. I had to stop the telling people about it. I also had to stop the lack. I can't afford that. Oh, way beyond my budget. I won't be able to ever do that. I can never have a house like that. I will never get that car. Those are all victimization roles I placed myself in. Limiting completely. You put yourself in lack. You became a victim. It's interesting what guides have said to me, and everyone's guides who I talk to about money, they're all like, we want to give it to you, but you keep blocking it. Yeah. We want to give it to you, and you keep blocking it. You block it with your chatter. You block it with being a victim. You block it with your story. You block it with your lack. You block it with your self-esteem. You know, we want to give it to you. We want you to be happy. Okay. Now, having said that, I do want to explain some people are meant to be in poverty. Okay. It depends on what, and this is where life is very complex. It depends on your journey, and it depends on what you're here to learn. Okay. So there are the homeless man on the street, very much so, may very well be intended to be homeless on the street. Okay, so there are those situations, but that's not everyone's situation. We can make ourselves better. We can make our situation better. You do not have to be in lack. The other thing is this: please don't do this type of victimization. Well, there are starving people in Africa. I don't want to, manifest all this money and then they don't have it. Okay, you know what? There is an endless supply. It's energy. If I wish it all for me, aren't I being selfish? No, there's more for them too. Okay, it's going to be created. You do not have to put yourself in that type of a martyr role. Okay, being a martyr never helps anyone. Okay, so it is about getting in there, asking yourself some key questions. And just like we have done everything in here, it's about shifting your story. It's about letting go of the energy. And I'm going to tell you some tools of the trade that I have used with people. But before I do, I want to share one more thing with you, and that's this. Please keep in mind this, the conscious versus the subconscious mind. Changing your story is changing your conscious mind, okay? Really looking at whether you're a victim is trying to change the conscious mind. The subconscious mind, okay, is all of your beliefs, your emotions, your habits, your values, okay? Family values around money, your value around money, your protective reactions, your long-term memory, your imagination, and your intuition. These can all be very subconscious. 90% of your mind is there. So that's why you can't just think, I'm fine, everything is fine, everything is going to be great, I'm going to have lots of money, it's going to be great, okay, I got it, I got this one. When underneath you're like, you don't believe that. You believe you're a victim. You know you're not going to have money. Look at what you've got to listen to that down underneath chatter. Okay? Because we can do quite a number here. Remember me when I said, I love myself, really. Everything is great. Everything is fine. I'm positive. I'm this, la, 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 la. Yeah, and underneath, what did I do? I hated myself. Okay? It's about not here. It is here. We do create a better story because it will eventually change us in our belief. Okay? It's getting us into a mantra or a practice. Change our core belief. But everything when it comes to money is looking at what's underneath the surface. Right? So once again, we can't be in lack. We've got to get out of our head. All right? We got to stop the chatter around it. So I'm going to back up a couple here. So when it comes to all of this understanding of money, there's some really neat things that we can do that can really assist in letting go. First of all, if you go back to the whole understanding of your chatter or your story that came from your family, I'm going to tell you to do something and you may or may not like it, but I'll explain why. You've got to give back the beliefs to your family. You've got to surrender them from you. Remember how I said when you come into this body, you have a choice. Your choice is to, am I going to take on all that patterning? Am I going to continue the patterning that I came in this body in? It came into when I came into this family lineage, or am I not? And so if you choose not to, then you have to give it back. You have to surrender it from you. And when I do that for my family, and I surrender back to them the issues that they had with money. My grandmother was in the Depression when she came over from Canada. When my mother's parents, were raising her, they counted my grandfather had ledgers of where every penny went. Talk about being in control with money and fearing having lack. There's a lot of fear there. My parents, they just were disasters with it, and then they just lived that way, stressed and fighting. I can't own that. So what I had to do was to give it back. I can't own your stuff. I can't take that into my being. So I surrender it and I give it back. Out of love and honor and respect, I give it back to you. Because when you let go and give it back, then you have the opportunity to heal you. Remember, when you heal you, everyone around you changes. You can't heal you if you're holding on to their stuff. So it's not mean to give it back. It's not mean to say, I'm dumping this back on your lap. You have to surrender so that you can change here. Make sense? Okay. Sit down and examine your story. Write it out. And then change it. Write out a new mantra. Write out a new story around money. When it comes to internal chatter will take you down. Examine the chatter. Okay? Watch how you respond to everything. I can't go there. I'm in lack. I can't have that. I'm in lack. Now, guys, that does not mean let's go and buy a yacht and just say, I'm manifesting. Pay for it. Okay, that is just stupid. But we can actually allow ourselves to say, you know what? Right now, my mantra is I'm manifesting that. Instead of saying something like, I'm sorry, I can never do that, I can't afford it, just say, I'll see if I can, or I'm working on manifesting that. Okay, keep it in the positive. Or what, that's a very good possibility. I might be able to make that happen. Okay? It's keeping yourself in this beautiful space with it, just like everything else we've learned. Thoughts, comments around money? Yes. Yeah, create a new story. Because you're identifying what you're holding. Even if you don't have to write it, physically, you got to examine what's there. No, you cannot sweep it under the carpet. That does not work. Nice idea, though. Yeah, sweeping it under the carpet would be doing this. You're just sweeping it there. Okay, and that's being manifested. All right, so it's examining that. When it comes to bringing money in, it's good to have a good mantra. Like, I don't know, money comes to me from out of nowhere. Somehow I'm always provided for. Okay? My bank account just keeps getting bigger. Right, I'm so lucky. Right, I'm so blessed. I don't know what happens. I always have clients that just always flow in. I don't know why that happens. It's really cool. Okay? You create your story. What is it? Charlie, what do we know about our new center? We already know the Indiegogo campaign is going to bring in a huge funding. We already know that. It's just not even a doubt. You can't even give it any energy that's not. Right, Hope? And we all feel it. And because we all feel it and we all know it, it's going to happen. Yes, Charlie.
I just want to say I think it's kind of important to your friends in abundance because you tell them that in that way it helps them in themselves.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually really important for the energy of relationships. If you see someone is ill, you're sending negative energy to them. It's always important when somebody's going through a hard time to see them in perfect health, perfect beauty, perfect space. Because if you're seeing them as ill, you're actually adding to that illness. Yeah. Hope was just sharing a great story about her friend who, even though he doesn't have a lot of money, he always has this great outlook. And so when he says it to her, don't worry about that. All of a sudden, it's all just fine. She feels it. She's like, I got this. I'm good. And that is a really good reminder to bring that beauty to others. Yeah, don't feed negative stories. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, let's end with a 5-minute meditation around this. All right, ready on that one? We got this, in Hope's words. All right. I'd love to add Heal Center and the Indiegogo campaign into this. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that a lot. So let's take a nice, deep, deep breath into the base of our abdomen. On our next in-breath, let's breathe energy in through the crown of our heads, beautiful, loving, unconditioned source energy into our entire being. As we breathe out, I want you to breathe out lack. I want you to breathe out not having. I want you to breathe out victimization. I want you to breathe that out. One more deep cleansing breath, bringing in beauty, strength, power, love, unconditioned, amazing energy, breathing out any of that stress around money. Yeah. And what I want you to feel, first of all, in your body is I want you to feel your energy. Everything in your body is energy. You are made of cells. Your cells break down into a nucleus. Your nucleus carries your DNA, which breaks down into molecules. Your molecules break down into atoms. Atoms break down into little, teeny, tiny points of light. You are light. Feel your body as a light being. There is no solidity to you. You break down into your own consciousness. Feel the air interacting with your points of light. And your points of light interacting with the air. You are endless. Feel how your energy is not separated from source. It can't be. Source is you. You are source. Feel the energy within your solar plexus, your empowerment. You are empowered to be as beautiful in this life as you want to be. Feel the energy within your heart. Feel your love of this experience. This is amazing that we get to come here and do this. And it is amazing that you get to have your eyes opened in this way. Amazing. Feel the energy right now in your root, In your root, this red vibrating energy, you carry your foundation of wealth. I want you to take any story that you have that is negative around money. And as you radiate your red root energy, release those old stories that don't serve you. I'm a victim to money. I need money. Money is not easy to come by. Money eludes me. All of that old story around money, letting it go. Feel yourself freeing yourself from those chains, from those bonds that are just keeping you from manifesting. Don't hold them. Surrender them. I don't carry an old story anymore. I'm powerful. I'm amazing. I am beautiful. I don't have to play that way. Feel that. Releasing and surrendering, clearing yourself out. And now allow that source energy, like little golden flecks, to flow down through the crown of the head, flowing down into your being, flowing down into your core, flowing down into every part of your body and flowing around your body. You are surrounded by source energy. And I want you to create a story around money that you know is beautiful for you. I can have money. I can have abundance. I am worthy of this. I release and surrender from my being anyone's version of money that is not my own. I surrender my parents' version of money. I surrender my ancestors' version of money. I surrender my children's version of money. I surrender my friends' version of money. I surrender. And I am in a beautiful blank space where I get to write my version of money. Here's my version. I am source energy. I can bring in abundance. It is all my old programming, my lack of self-worth, my self-esteem, my self-doubt that keeps it from coming to me. I surrender. I don't hold that anxiety. I surrender it. And feel those energies leaving your body. My new story. Say a mantra to yourself right now. What is it? Say it inside your being and shout it to the heavens. Feel it. Own it. Make yours. Allow it. Feel your energy shifting. Feel your programming changing. And feel these words. I am abundance. And then when you're ready, come on back, feeling that beautiful energy within your being, feeling the freedom, feeling the lightness. And welcome to the world of wealth, my friends. Now, as we're in this space, one of the things we wanted to do is think about the Heal Center. We are creating an integrative health system. Our goal is to change healthcare as we know it for the good of all of us, not for profit. We want to create a place where people can go to be healthy, to learn these things that you learned in this class. We are developing a center that will allow people to be in their happiest space without invasive pharmaceuticals, without invasive surgeries. So can we all feel the energy of the manifestation of this? On April 1st, we launched our Indiegogo campaign to ask for funding, a large amount of funding. Can we all feel investors coming to us? Can we all feel donations flocking to us? Can we feel our video going viral so that people will know about what we're doing and want to donate and want to allow this to happen? Can you feel our training program changing the egos around healthcare? Can you feel our lack of stratification, of hierarchy of people changing? Can you feel the good that it will do? Oh, that feels good. Let's come on back in the room. And I feel much, much gratitude for that because I felt a really beautiful shift in here. Thank you, everyone. All right. Class is adjourned. Yay. You made it through. I have evaluations for everyone, so if you would take a moment. One of the things that we are doing, if you're listening to this, we will send it to you electronically. But with this, if we want to know feedback on the class, give any suggestions that you would like along here. But if you're willing to give a testimony that, about the class that we can use to teach this to others, or if you're willing to give a testimony about even myself and the because I'll be the one delivering the training, or even on the Heal Center, we would love that. The other thing is that we would like to offer this class regularly so that people can start to grow and learn. So we'd love to have you share about this class with anyone that you can, just to see if they would benefit from it. But once again, if they're not ready, they're not ready. You don't even try. You can suggest it, but really you can't force anyone to come. But just to do that, we would appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. What's that? At the end here? So for those of you who have been online, thank you so, so much for joining us in all of this. It has been an incredible last 4 weeks for all of us. What I can say is that if you have questions, please go ahead and email us. So Charlie will put our info up online. If you are listening to this recording long after it's been created, which is February of 2015, please know that we are still in existence. I can feel that. And do find our website, and Charlie will put that up as well. And if you are, when you're listening, please do feel free to share what we're doing about our integrative health system. And I hope that by the time it's 2020 and you're listening to this, you can come and visit our center. Have a great night.